Well, good morning, everybody. Sam here, live on United People's TV. That was a crazy, crazy night last night, wasn't it? My voice sounds a bit weird, probably because I was, shouting a bit. We're here today to discuss all the latest developments that have happened overnight with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his expected sacking today as Manchester United manager. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that the Glazers have approved the sacking of Solskjaer, that a statement is now already in place. And we are sitting here expecting an announcement to come out soon. Now, as always, throughout these streams, I want you to let me know what your opinions are. Everything that you are thinking, your feelings, everything you want to talk about with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you let me know in the comments. I will run through all of the news for you, bring you bang up to date from all the most reliable sources. I'm going to be looking through what Fabrizio Romano has had to say on this. I'm going to be looking through what Simon Stone from the BBC has had to say on this. I'm going to be looking through Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, and I'm going to be looking at James Ducker from The Telegraph. Now, last night, I covered everything in detail, from Duncan Castles and The Times, bringing the reports that the Glazers were going to have an emergency meeting. Credit to him, he was first to that story. And then the continuing developing stories as they came out. We did that late into the night last night. Now, here we are 8 hours later. Let me bring you bang up to date with everything that's happened overnight. Let's get straight into this one. As always, keep leaving your opinions in the comments. I'll try and get to them as we get through the stream. Fabrizio Romano here, tweeting this during the night. Manchester United's board's decision to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been approved by Joel Glazer. It is over. An official statement is now in place and a mutual agreement reached to respect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and part ways. Fletcher and Carrick are now ready as an interim solution if no instant solution is found. So Fabrizio Romano confirming what was the final step, and that is that Joel Glazer has approved and confirmed the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's what we were waiting for. That's what we've been waiting for this whole, this time. That's what we wanted to see after Man City. It's what a lot of us felt was necessary after Liverpool. Lo and behold, it didn't happen after both of those, and we didn't use an international break. I'm going to get into that in a little bit later. But Joel Glazer, Fabrizio Romano, they're confirming that Joel Glazer has approved the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's important. That's a very important step. And we're now at the stage now. We're at the stage now where we've got Solskjaer's sacking has been approved by the board. Solskjaer's sacking has been approved by Manchester United, and Solskjaer's sacking has been approved with a statement that is now ready and in place. So we are sitting here this morning and we are expecting an official announcement. I don't know what would hold that up. I don't know what would stop that from happening very, very soon. Hell, it might even happen whilst we're live on this stream together. I'm not sure. But Manchester United, they're going to confirm the sacking of Solskjaer this morning. Now, what's your reaction to this in the comments below? You let me know. I'm also going to run through the latest article that came out this morning from Simon Stone from the BBC. He's saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he will leave the club after the game against Watford. Let's go through and read this article together. Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is set to leave after the game against Watford. There has been no official confirmation, but it is understood all the club's senior figures, including the owners, the Glazers, have discussed his future. It was decided that the Watford loss would be Solskjaer's last game in charge, and the terms for his exit would be agreed. Technical director Darren Fletcher is set to take over for the Villarreal game. It is possible the first team coach Carrick could remain at Old Trafford despite being part of a management team responsible for a terrible run of results during which United have won only four of their last 13 games. Really is relegation form that we've been in. Let's go down here and read in a bit more detail. The club's hierarchy stuck with Solskjaer, believing he would turn it around. However, both the defeat at Watford and the manner of the performance, I told you the performance was important, which included a red card for captain Harry Maguire, have changed that landscape. And they're saying, so maybe this is what's made the United pull the trigger. With qualifications for the Champions League knockout stage at stake, if they fail to get at least a draw against Villarreal, United senior figures were not prepared to risk a defeat to Unai Emery's team. Now, what's your reaction to that in the comments? Mine would be utter madness that it took until this point for the trigger to be pulled, if I'm being completely honest. Utter madness that it didn't happen after the City game. Utter madness that it's now happened in sheer panic after the Watford game. That panic should have happened a couple of weeks ago. And if Manchester United's board were competent, were able to really make a fair and objective call on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it would have been done during the international break. Instead, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was allowed to go back to Norway for a week. Man United's board sat on their hands for 2 weeks. And only now are they hitting that panic button. In my opinion, I don't think Michael Carrick should really be anywhere near what's coming next. But this is an interim suggestion, Fletcher and Carrick. One thing I need to say about this Carrick situation, I haven't said it yet, I'll say it now. Michael Carrick has been Manchester United's assistant manager under 2 managers now, Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's been at the club for years. If he is overlooked for being named as interim manager behind Darren Fletcher, it goes to show the utter mistrust that Manchester United have in Michael Carrick. And therefore, he shouldn't be anywhere really near any sort of new management setup. Now, Mike Phelan, last night, Fabrizio Romano was confirming that Mike Phelan is expected to leave with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that would leave Carrick and McKenna and Fletcher as the coaching staff behind. But Fletcher's only been in as a sort of technical director role. He's not as directly involved as Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna. But if he is overlooked, then it really is a damning indictment of the trust that the club has in Michael Carrick. And I'll be honest, I don't think Carrick deserves any trust. I don't think McKenna deserves any trust. I don't think anybody inside that coaching setup deserves any trust, because blood is on everybody's hands here. This isn't just on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is on everybody that's been involved and part of this collapse. Or saying, if reports are true, why Fletcher and Carrick as assistant? Fletcher is only coaching under 16s. Essentially have no trust in Carrick. Well, look, I didn't even read your comment out there, but it's something I've literally said just myself. But when it comes to interim appointments, I know it's chaotic at Manchester United, and we shouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. We all know that, right? Interim appointments tend to be from within. It's kind of a standard thing to do. An interim appointment is supposed to be somebody who comes in for a very short, fixed period of time whilst the main appointment is being made. The chaos that surrounds Manchester United here is that we don't know how long Fletcher or Carrick, or Fletcher and Carrick, how long our interim manager is going to be in charge for. As I said on the stream last night, genuinely terrified of the idea that Darren Fletcher comes in and absolutely nails it for 2-3 months, and the board even consider saying, you know what, Fletcher's done it. Maybe Fletcher can do it. Maybe we should give Fletcher the job in a permanent role. That scares the crap out of me. Absolutely scares the crap out of me. And I hope that doesn't happen. Now, let's go over and see what Laurie Whitwell and The Athletic are saying this morning as well. He's saying Darren Fletcher is in line to take charge of Manchester United against Villarreal, with Michael Carrick as a possible deputy. So by the looks of things, the Carrick situation is not absolutely in stone, absolutely certain. But when it comes to Darren Fletcher, because of his lack of experience, because he's only coming as an interim, because it's an internal appointment, I wouldn't be surprised to see Carrick there alongside him. As I said, whether or not you agree it's the right thing, I don't think Carrick should be involved. But Fletcher doesn't have a coaching staff. He hasn't worked anywhere as a coach, so he would have no coaching staff to bring in the same way that Solskjaer used Carrick and McKenna, because he had no coaching staff. So Fletcher would have none. So he would keep Carrick. Laurent Blanc touted as an interim candidate, Julien Lopetegui. I've really got to understand. I've got to learn how to pronounce this guy's name, man. Julien, but I think he's is he ex-Spain manager, ex-Real Madrid manager as well. Proposed as a long-term alternative. What's your reaction to that in the comments? I'll be honest, all I really know about that is the fact that he left Spain, was it a couple of weeks before the World Cup, and then got sacked pretty promptly at Real Madrid. I think if I remember off the top of my head. But Fabrizio Romano, the main story here this morning that you need to know and you need to understand, Manchester United have approved the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and more importantly than that, it's been approved by Joel Glazer. That's what we've been waiting for a long time, mate. As I said, Joel Glazer held the gun. Ed Woodward was the man with the bullets. Woodward's now pulled his finger out of his arse, and Arnold has pulled his finger out of his arse, and our board have collectively withdrawn their fingers from their rectums, and Manchester United have told Joel Glazer that this has to happen, and Joel Glazer has done it. As I said, what we're reading there from the report in the BBC, which I find very, very, very odd and very strange in terms of the panic and how it's only coming now. If we go and look at this full screen so you can read it, that bit there, let me highlight that bit there. Apparently this is what has made Manchester United pull the trigger. With qualification for the Champions League knockout at stake, if they fail to get at least a draw against Villarreal, United senior figures were not prepared to take the risk. I don't know, if I'm being completely honest, how or why that is only happening now after Watford. This is it hurts me to the core of how reactive our football club is, eh? How we have to just sit here and wait for the house to be on fire before we go, damn, something's wrong here. Shouldn't be the case. Wouldn't be the case at any other super club in the world. Wouldn't happen at Bayern. Wouldn't happen at Liverpool. Wouldn't happen at Real Madrid. Wouldn't happen at well, maybe it did happen at Barcelona. And maybe that's a bad comparison because of everything that happened, of course, with Koeman and with Xavi coming in. I won't include Barcelona in that conversation. But what's your reaction? Hey, I'm going to head down to the comments here in a minute, and I'm going to read through your opinions. What's your reaction to Fletcher and Carrick? As I said, it should come as no surprise to anybody that the interim appointment will be internal. That's a very standard thing, right? It's just that the fact that this has all happened in the way it has happened, in the fact that we didn't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after City, that we didn't use those 2 weeks as a football club to actually properly sit back and plan. It could have been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leaving the club by mutual consent the Monday after City, and we had 2 weeks, 2 full weeks as a football club to work on disappointment. Instead, we're now at panic stations. We're there mounting the guns. We're trying to hold everyone back. We're going to get rid of Solskjaer. We fly out to Villarreal probably tomorrow. Training might happen today. And it's such a crucial Champions League game. And then we've got Chelsea on Sunday. It's chaos. It's utter chaos. And we're going to be sacking Solskjaer in that situation. We've just made it far more difficult for ourselves. We do that as a football club. And it comes down to the incompetence and the people that we know run our club that cannot run our club, that cannot be trusted to run our club. And I don't trust them to get this decision right next for who comes in, because Fletcher will be an interim manager, but for how long? Who will come in? These are the questions that we don't have the answers to at this particular moment in time. Let me go down here and start reading your opinions out. Julian, very temporary. Fletcher and Carrick needs to be a full clean out. As I said, we should definitely be parting ways with Mike Phelan, with Kieran McKenna, and with Michael Carrick. This has to be a full sacking. When it comes to Jose Mourinho and he was replaced, McKenna and Carrick were kept in because Solskjaer didn't have his own coaching staff that he brought in. In the same way that David Moyes got it so wrong by sacking everybody and bringing all of his in, we need to make sure that after Solskjaer, everybody is sacked and that it's a clean slate and that whoever comes in next has a clean slate. We have to make the job as easy as possible for the next manager who comes in. And it has to be a top-level manager to come in and manage the squad that we've got with the ambitions and the expectations that we now have at our club again. It has to be the right appointment. I don't trust Manchester United to get it right. Laurent Blanc's being named as an interim manager potentially. We've all spoken about Ralf Rangnick in real detail. You know my opinion on Erik ten Hag and how I would like him in the long term. But what will United do in the meantime? Will it be a case of someone like Julian Lopetegui? Jesus. Someone please tell me how to say his name in the comments. Now, Jamal, you're saying we must have a clean house with his philosophy and get right. JJ Steve, let's go down here. What do I expect in the Villarreal game, Joel? I would expect a response to Manchester United, but I wouldn't expect too much different, if we're being completely honest. There won't be a new manager bounce, in my opinion, because it's only going to be Fletcher on a interim basis. Ian, I still genuinely don't know if people who comment here about Roy Keane are being sarcastic or not, because it would be an absolute, it will be chaos. It will be chaos. Have you not seen Roy Keane's managerial career? Everything that he's done at Sunderland and Ireland and Ipswich, and I love the guy, but his CV is not very good as a football manager. I would certainly bring him in as a coach. Well, that's something very, very different altogether. But Roy Keane as a manager on an interim basis, I think Fletcher would be, out of those two choices, Fletcher would be a better appointment in the interim for sure. But I'm not, no matter which In the same way, right, that we all season long, I've been saying, it doesn't matter how you look at Manchester United's midfield, it's a compromise. Whether it's Fred and McTominay, whether it's Matic and McTominay, whether it's Matic and Van der Beek, it's compromise because we didn't have the right people there. I would say we're compromising with anything that comes next, straight away after Solskjaer. Whether that's Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick, whether that's Laurent Blanc coming in straight away. There's going to be compromises everywhere. The guarantee that we have right now is that whoever comes in next, it won't be a universally approved decision, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a decision which splits Manchester United fans, which splits the fan base, and that's what my gut instinct is telling me. I might be wrong there, but let me know in the comments here, right? Who do you think would be the best and smartest appointment for Manchester United in the short term? Let's try and speak between now. Like the interim manager, Fletcher's in for a couple of games against Villarreal and maybe Chelsea. Who comes in then straight away? I don't think it can be Ten Hag. I don't think that will happen before the end of the season, as much as loads of us would love it to be. Who do you think? And people are saying Ferguson in the comments again. Like if you're talking about, I can't rule Fergie out. I don't think Fergie will come in, if I'm being completely honest. But Rangnick is the name I can see coming in here straight away. Or I know you're a big fan of Ralf Rangnick, and you were sort of banging his drum, although he doesn't have a drum, might have a drum. You were saying his name quite a while ago. You're saying, I want Ralf to come in so he can say ha-ha to the Glazers and slap some sense into them. It's pronounced Lopetegui. Okay, Lopetegui. There you go, Lopetegui. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. And if it's wrong, it's not my fault. Let me go down here. The two girls from ABBA, says Jack. Well, they've just brought out a #1 album in the UK, so maybe they can bring out a number. No, we're not getting #1. The Premier League has done this season. We're just top 4 chasing. Fletcher gets Zidane in at the moment. He's a perfect appointment. Interim. I do not think that Zidane is a perfect appointment. I can understand the cons with Zidane. I can also understand a lot of the pros with Zidane as well. Freeman, you're saying Fletcher and Carrick are not coaches, so please don't give them the jobs. Look, as I said, when it comes to an interim manager, if an interim manager is done properly, an interim manager will only be in charge for a fixed period of time, a short amount of time, a few games. And therefore, it doesn't really matter who is brought in on an interim basis, right? And I might be being stupid. You might disagree in what I'm saying there. But ultimately, an interim basis is there to cover the gap between one manager departing and another manager coming in. Now, if Manchester United have done their job properly, and they haven't, so maybe it's going to be longer than we all expect it to be. They should already have done their planning behind the scenes. They should already have been contacting people. And this is exactly why I felt no disrespect towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when I did my videos last week. I was proactively planning for this to happen. And that's why all of us have had conversations and done research in Rangnick, in Zidane, in Rodgers, in Ten Hag. We've looked at options. We've taken a look at what's available. We know which one would probably suit Manchester United the most and what would probably be the smartest decision. Manchester United's board should have been having these conversations already, so that the point when Solskjaer is sacked, we're not just looking at it with a clean slate. We know what we're doing. Ralf Rangnick, you know my opinion on Ralf Rangnick. I've looked at him and I could see it being such a smart decision. It would be an appointment that challenges the power of the board. And therefore, it's probably a decision that the board will not take. But at what point will... I don't know. I don't know if it ever will happen under the Glazers. But I would just love our football club to be run and for the decisions to be made with the football club's best intentions at heart. And that's something I will always stand by and say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager. When all this is said and done, he has had our best intentions at heart throughout this entire time. And that's something. I mean, he might have been very stubborn in what he's doing. It might have been the hill that he's died on in McTominay and Fred, and that's all different altogether. But I genuinely think that at its core, Solskjaer had United's best intentions at heart, and that's not something you can say about anybody inside our board. Taiku, you're saying, imagine Ronaldo appointed as a playing interim manager. I mean, come on, that's not going to happen. Jeez. Steve Bruce as an interim. Peter Fergie. So people. Genuinely, do you think Fergie is an actual possibility? Or are you just saying this to wind me up in the comments? You let me know what you actually think about Fletcher. Really, let me know what you think about Fletcher. And I'll head over to Twitter and I'll see if there's any more updates to bring you as we're live and direct. As I said, I'm fully expecting Manchester United to bring in an announcement very, very soon. I think it'll be early this morning. That's why I went live. I normally don't go live until 9:30. I also don't normally go live on the weekends, but with everything that's happening and unfolding right now, I wanted to bring you the news. So you just got it all in one place. This one's I know him. He's a German, Konstantin Eckner. Yeah, he writes for BBC in Germany, apparently. This is what he is saying this morning. As I said, I'm just going to bring you updates and conversation points as we're here. Manchester United are trying everything to get Zinedine Zidane, and that's coming from Konstantin Eckner. Let me see if I can't slide into his DMs and have a conversation with him. What's your opinion on Zidane? I think a lot of you, well, Interim for sure, as he's just said it, but a lot of you do feel that Zidane would be the right appointment. If you're looking at a smart appointment, is it Zinedine Zidane? If you're looking at an easier appointment, Zidane's not in contract with any club. Zidane is available without a compensation package. If you look at Brendan Rodgers, it's far more complicated than that. If you look at Erik ten Hag, it's even more complicated, I would argue, than Brendan Rodgers. Zinedine Zidane is somebody who will be available straight away. But he is a man who has been available for a long, long time. And this is something I've said all along as well. Zinedine Zidane, if we wanted him, we could have got him during the international break, no problem. But I don't know whether Zidane wants the job. And as I said, we have to get somebody who wants this job and wants to come in and wants to be at the helm for Manchester United. And if Zidane is simply coming in because it would be a little bit like Di Maria coming to Manchester United because PSG couldn't afford him at that time. If that's the case with Zidane as a manager, then why would we get Zidane in? Just thinking out loud here. Just thinking out loud. Glazers out. Of course, it's Glazers out. Says Jim. You know what I think. Niall and Z, you both think that Laurent Blanc would be a good one. He's managed at top level, Poch or Ten Hag. Well, there's a lot of people that think that as well. Imran, you're saying Ralf Rangnick is an ideal choice. His CV absolutely suits Manchester United. Now, you all know, as I said, what I feel about Ralf Rangnick. If you haven't watched those videos, genuinely, I'm not just bigging my own content up here, but I spent a lot of time researching those videos. And I did those videos with the intention of allowing you to get an insight into Ralf Rangnick, into his coaching philosophy and his coaching style. And I'm telling you, I said it in the video, I was so impressed by Ralf Rangnick and how he was able to portray complicated ideas in a foreign language. Very astute man, very intelligent man, very experienced man, worked in different countries at different levels at clubs, from a manager up to a sporting director, and right now a global communications director at Lokomotiv Moscow. He really is an impressive bloke. And that's why, for me, it would make sense very much so on a short-term basis until the end of the season to bring Ralf Rangnick in. And that would give Manchester United, as a football club now, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. It would give us 8 months until the start of next season. Obviously, you want to bring someone in at the start of the summer, so maybe May time. 4, 5, 6 months for Manchester United to truly craft a plan for Erik ten Hag. It's dreaming. Look, I'm dreaming. This is my dream situation. I might do a video on it. It's my dream situation that Manchester United will go for someone like Ralf Rangnick, somebody who's got real bags of experience, coming into clubs, helping modernize clubs, helping bring stability, helping bring processes into the club that will really enable the foundations to be set for Erik ten Hag. And that would be the plan that I would love to see Manchester United work towards. I would like to see Darren Fletcher coming in for a couple of games, seeing what he can do. I don't want Carrick or Fletcher to be here for anything longer than a couple of games. Ideally, I want a new manager in for the time we play Arsenal. Not Thursday coming, the Thursday after. That's my own opinion. Let's see what happens, though, because as we know, you can't really trust Manchester United to do anything properly, can you? It's just the way the cookie crumbles, to put it in was it from Bruce Almighty? I think he said that. Julian, you think it's 100% should be Ralph. Billy, you're saying we need someone with the passion like Roy Keane. That would be amazing for us. Mate, we've had passion merchants, and that's not really suited us. Samuel, you're saying, to me, Fletcher is a short time frame option. If they believe Zidane is a possible, probable option, it will be Blanc. If it's a wait until summer type interim. Now, when it comes to Zinedine Zidane, as I said, Zinedine Zidane, by the looks of things, wants that France job. Didier Deschamps is the current manager. There's Qatar 2022 in the following November. That's when that appointment could happen after that. depending on whether Didier Deschamps leaves. Zidane wants that job. That's what Julien Laurens is, a voice I really trust when it comes to Zidane news, writes for ESPN, French journalist. He's always maintained that Zinedine Zidane is not in a rush to go back into management, something that Fabrizio Romano's doubled down and confirmed, and the fact that he wants that France job. Now, he's obviously being linked with the PSG job too, with Poch sort of struggling there, with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. It won't be hard for a PSG to pull the plug on that one and go for Zidane hard. So maybe you can look at that one. But as I said before, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I know Zidane was born in Marseille, and if I remember correctly, it's Marseille and PSG that have a fierce rivalry inside France. So maybe that will rule Zidane out of that PSG job. Arjan, you're saying Zidane doesn't want the United job. I guess many reports if he is not interested. If not, then look further. As I said, Zidane is somebody who is on that list, but I don't particularly think that Manchester United are really going to be. I don't know. I could be wrong here. I could be wrong. Let's see how it all develops with Zinedine Zidane. But I can't personally see it happening. I think we'll go somewhere else. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's what my gut is telling me, right? I could be wrong on that. Absolutely happy to be wrong on that. It's just my gut is telling me that Man United are going to be looking elsewhere. Now, as I said, look, thank you all very much for joining in this morning. If you are new to United People's TV, welcome aboard. I'm sure there will be lots of you that are new. Please consider subscribing. Please drop a like on the video. I'd like to have you on board here. I'd like to build this United People's TV community. And as I said, I'm going to be doing lots more proactive videos. I'm going to be taking a look at Fletcher and Carrick as interim managers. I'm going to be maybe seeing what they've said, if they've spoken in podcasts about their coaching style and their philosophy or anything like that. I'm going to try and get that information into a video for you. And I'm going to be continuing to do more videos like I've done, my research videos into potential new managers. I've done it on Zidane. I've done it on Ten Hag. I've done it on Rodgers. And I've done it on Rangnick. Who else would you like me to take a look at? Maybe Lopetegui? I might do one on him. Maybe I can do one on Laurent Blanc. You let me know in the comments. And as always, because there's too many comments firing in now, please hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are always open at @SamPeoples_. Rangnick for interim, says DJ Snowy. And Richard, you're thinking Rangnick. And Ahmed, you're thinking Rangnick. Look, a lot of us really do feel that Rangnick should be that manager. But let's see what happens with Manchester United. As to run through the latest updates with you here, live this morning, live and direct, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed the most important update when it comes, and now all we're waiting for is this official announcement. Manchester United's board have decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's been approved by the Glazers. It's over. The official statement is now in place. The mutual agreement has been reached, and it's expected that Solskjaer will leave on a mutual consent. As I said, mutual consent is a polite sacking, right? Instead of sacking, it's just called a mutual consent. Alan, you're saying would love Zidane, but Rangnick would be the likelier option. Zidane shouldn't be in the conversation, says Mooney. Okay, well, that's not something that a lot of people agree with. Richard, you sent in a super chat there, buddy, but you haven't left a comment. If you leave another, just a normal comment, I'll try and read it out if I can spot your comment. Do a video on Graham Potter as a possible replacement. Obviously, Graham Potter's done excellent things there at Brighton, but I'm not sure Graham Potter's going to be considered. If we're looking at sideways steps, you're going to be putting Graham Potter in the same category there as Brendan Rodgers, if not a little bit below him. What Manchester United do need now is somebody who can really help United's players and United's fans and everybody look upwards. That's what we need. We need someone who can take us up there, not somebody who can let us continue inside this top four chase. And for me, that's what it strikes me as Brendan Rodgers. As much as I can appreciate his ability as a coach, and clearly his ability as a tactician, and clearly he's done very good work, did good work at Liverpool, fell short, did good work at Celtic, then went to Leicester and has done good work at Leicester. For me, it doesn't inspire me as a fan that he's going to be the man that takes Manchester United forwards and upwards. I think he would certainly, as I've said this before, it strikes me as Brendan Rodgers is literally the Glazers' dream appointment. Somebody who would come in, not be too upset if you don't spend that much money, not be somebody who wouldn't be that too upset if he just finishes third every year. That's what it strikes me as Brendan Rodgers. I might be unfair in doing that. But that's truly what I feel about Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, Ready, you're saying Diego Simeone video. I won't be doing the Diego Simeone video because that will not happen. Diego Simeone is not leaving Atletico Madrid, so I will not be doing that one. At least someone's feeling in a nice comedic mood this morning. Moyes, come on, Jesus. Or what you're saying, sir, this saga is like driving a car for a period of time with all of the warning lights blinking like a Christmas tree. This board needs a kick up there behind or two. No, they don't. They need a shotgun to the back of the head. I'm not encouraging murder. I'm not. But, yeah, our board is terrible. Yeah, mate, the warning lights have been on for a long, long time. And anybody with any sort of ounce of forward planning and thinking would have seen that and gone, right, okay, now is the time to pull the plug. Instead, Manchester United waited. Pochettino, yeah, Pochettino is somebody I probably could take a look at for sure. Luis Enrique is another one that I don't think we can rule out. The current Spain manager. A little bit odd because, as I said, the Spain manager, so I don't really think he's going to be leaving before the World Cup. But yeah, you've got a couple of good names there. You've got Laurent Blanc, you've got Mauricio Pochettino, and you've got Luis Enrique there. But personally, I don't think that Diego Simeone should be even considered by Manchester United fans. Just don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. Diego Simeone is not leaving Atletico Madrid. All right. Simple as that. Let me go and see if there's any more updates to bring you whilst we're live on this stream. As always, ladies and gents, please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe to United People's TV if you're here. And please continue firing your comments and your opinions in. Tim will not get the job. It will be Zidane. Who's Tim? Richard. You think it will be Zidane. You're not the only one, Richard. For sure, you're not the only one that thinks it will be Zidane. And as I covered there just a little bit earlier, you've got reports coming from Konstantin Eckner out in Germany, who's a German journalist. He's got some sort of reputation. He's saying that Manchester United are trying everything to get Zinedine Zidane. At this moment in time, Zidane is the name I would say is cropping up the most. Whether that's people sort of denouncing the Zidane rumours, like Samuel Luckhurst yesterday in the Manchester Evening News said, look, the Zidane talk is nothing but hot air at the moment. Anytime Fabrizio Romano has spoken about Zinedine Zidane, it's kind of been nothing but hot air at this moment in time. Nobody really has gone forward and properly said that Zinedine Zidane is going to be Manchester United's next manager. The reports at this stage still remain speculation. Now, around Zidane, the speculation is certainly more intense. There's more speculation about Zidane than there is any other manager right now. But right now, it still remains that Zidane is only speculative. But the only thing that we're looking for as a factual thing here, really, is the fact that it's going to be Darren Fletcher coming in. As Fabrizio Romano is there saying Fletcher and Carrick are ready as an interim solution if no instant solution is found. And I don't think an instant solution will be found. Let me know in the comments here. Type your answer. And I'll try and read a few of yours out because I'm really interested to know what you think about this. How long do you expect Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick to be interim managers for? I asked this on the stream last night. I'll ask it again this morning at this point. How long do you think that Fletcher and Carrick will be there for before we make a more serious appointment? Whether that would be someone on a long-term basis, whether that would be someone until the summer, I don't know. But how long do you think Fletcher and Carrick will be in charge on an interim basis? That's the immediate question that I want you to answer in the comments. And I'm going to read a few of yours out here. Got Karthik, you think it'll be one match, just only the Villarreal game. So you can get someone in charge for Chelsea. That would be very, very swift. 2 games at most, says Nathan. Gary, you're saying 1 game. 5 months, says Matla. Let's see what goes on. Medi, you think just a Villarreal game. Katarina, and I see you. You're saying 2 games. 3 games, says GT. 1 game, maybe a month, says Paula, till January, says, or end of the season, get £20 on it, says Gary. Hey, look, I genuinely don't think you can rule out Fletcher and Carrick until the end of the season. I do not think you can rule it out. It's the sort of thing that Manchester United would do, eh? As I said, that's what I'm kind of a little bit scared by the idea that Fletcher comes in and has the sort of 3-month burst that Solskjaer has and gets given a contract earlier than he should be by the club, which is what we did with Solskjaer. He didn't need that contract at that particular moment in time. We were all concerned by it. And then obviously the form fell out for the last couple of months of the season. And then Solskjaer was given a new contract in July as well when he didn't need to. Phelan was given a new contract a month ago when he didn't need to. Simple as that. But I don't think you can rule out the fact that Fletcher could be here until January. Scares me. Really scares me, the idea of it. But it wouldn't surprise me if Manchester United's board did that, right? It would not surprise me. And I swear to God, I can't rule out the idea, the scary idea that Fletcher could get it on a permanent role if he does well. Eddie, you're saying Ole's sacking won't give immediate results to United. Fans need to be told and patient. Eddie, that's something I do agree with. I don't think that Solskjaer being sacked will give that new manager boost. I don't think it will restrict it might relieve certain pressures on the players, but I don't think that we're going to get a significant boost from sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Do you think that Kieran McKenna will be sacked? You let me know what you think about that in the comments. Kieran McKenna is the only name right now that we haven't heard any update on. We've got Fabrizio Romano last night confirmed that Mike Phelan will be leaving with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And this morning, we're hearing all about Fletcher and Carrick as interim managers. Again, what does that mean about Kieran McKenna? In the same way that I said it's a bit damning, it's an indictment of the trust or the lack of trust that the club has in Carrick if Fletcher is chosen ahead of Carrick. We haven't even had a conversation about McKenna. Nothing's been said really about McKenna so far. So that's odd. That's very, very odd. As I said, I'm going to bring you, as soon as it's official, I'm going to be live here on United People's TV. Right now, it's not official. It's 9:30 now on Sunday morning. I would expect an announcement to come very, very shortly. So I could be here live on a stream with you very soon, discussing the official announcement and looking through the statement from Manchester United. All we know is that everything has been approved. The Glazers have approved it. We've got Fabrizio Romano and Simon Stone from the BBC both confirming that this morning. So that's not official, but you know, as far as trusted, reliable sources go, they're two of the big dogs. So the Glazers have approved it. The statement has already been drawn up, and now we're waiting for the initial statement. It's going to be on a mutual consent, as it should be. It needs to be as respectful towards Solskjaer as possible, and something I'm going to be working on straight away behind the scenes with a fantastic, hopefully fantastic video editor that you all know. I want to be working on a thank you video, sort of a tribute video to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I don't want in my opinion, the good work that Solskjaer has done overall in his time at Manchester United to be forgotten in the current narrative of how bad Manchester United are playing. As I said, I think Solskjaer will leave Manchester United in a far stronger position as an overall football club than when he found it, as certainly a squad, which is the best squad we've had in a long time. And there's a lot of things that Solskjaer has done right. So that I definitely want to do that video to make sure that that does not get forgotten in the current narrative. We go down here. I'll read a few of your comments out. Keep firing in your opinions, ladies and gents. I do genuinely try to read out as many as possible. There are so many comments flying in. But yeah, I do try. Bringing King Eric, says Julie. I don't think Eric Cantona or Roy Keane will be coming in. Prowess, you're saying we need a proper coach. 100% no more ex-players. I'm pretty in that category as well. We've tried and tested so many different things post-Fergie. But what we have not tried still is a top-class, world-class manager who's in his prime, who's on the upward trajectory as a manager. When we got Mourinho, we all knew it. We all feared that he might be past it, but we still hoped that he wasn't, and he was. He might have won the Europa League, might have won the League Cup, but they didn't matter to Manchester United. They didn't change the transition of our club. Mourinho was a bit past it when he came. Van Gaal was experienced, but a bit past it when he came. What we need now, after Solskjaer, we need someone who's experienced, who's elite, and who's ready to come in at the top level and look upwards. And they've got their not the whole career ahead of him, but they've got part of their career ahead of him. And that's why someone like Zinedine Zidane would make sense for a lot of people. That's why someone like Erik ten Hag would make sense for a lot of people. That's why someone like Luis Enrique is being sort of banded around as a name. Maybe someone like Julen Lopetegui is being banded around as another name. I don't really want to be looking at someone who's up and coming, experienced, and completely young. Julian Nagelsmann is another manager that we missed out on. He's gone to Bayern Munich and he won't be going anywhere. A very progressive and modern manager, young manager with a new thinking and a new style and his whole career ahead of him. That's what Manchester United need. We need our own version of Nagelsmann. Whether that's Erik ten Hag, whether that's Zinedine Zidane, I don't know. But it can't be Fletcher and it can't be Carrick on a permanent basis. If they're in on an interim basis, look, it is what it is. As I said, interim appointments typically do happen from within. They're normally internal appointments. It's just that Manchester United might have been able to avoid this shit show by actually sacking Solskjaer during the international break. And that's what we all wanted to see, but we did not see it. But yeah, let me quickly refresh and see if anything is happening here. See if there's any major updates to bring you. No, there isn't. So what I will do right now is I'll wrap this one up. It's only a 40-minute show. I could speak here for hours with you and we could keep talking because there's so many of you I don't really want to end it. So I would say, please, if you would consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to United People's TV, just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell because I'm going to be going live as soon as the official statement is out. So what I will come back with today at some point, whenever it is, whether it's in the next hour, whether it's at 5 p.m. tonight, as soon as the official statement is out by Manchester United, I will be live here on United People's TV, running through the statement with you and getting all of your immediate reactions. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. It was a crazy night last night. I've still semi-lost my voice. Manchester United have finally acted with Solskjaer. It feels late. It feels very late as far as I'm concerned. It should have happened during the international break. It should have happened after Liverpool, if we're being completely honest. But now we're here and we're waiting. The official announcement is coming soon. The Glazers have approved it. Thank you very much for joining in this morning. I'm sure I will see you very shortly with the official announcement. As I said, one more time, drop a like on the video and make sure you subscribe if you're new. And I'd love to have you as part of the United People's TV community. But I will see you soon for when the announcement is official. Take it easy.